stand before you today with a little Kate Snows episode of The Huntress. I recently judged this book by its cover, so let's take a minute and see what I had to say about that. Look, this is a high society woman, probably in the 40s or 50s, who lives in the city. This is definitely a cityscape here. And by the title, all she wants to do is get out there and hunt some deer. She just wants to get out in the country, put on her best mossy oak, climb up in a tree stand, and hunt her food as nature intended. But she can't because she's living within the confines of society and the time period and the fact that she lives in the city. So this book is going to be all about her struggle to find herself. Okay, so fine. This was not about a woman by herself who wanted to go out in the woods and hunt deer. This was about several women, but there was hunting involved, to a little bit of animals and also of people. And there was something to be said in this novel about the societal expectations of women and how the women characters in this book pushed against those and forged their own path. So let's get into it. Yes, I'm very happy with this novel since I was not happy with Daughters of Rome. And let me tell you why. Okay, this is where Kate Quinn shines. We've got 3 different point of views, some of it taking place at a different timeline, but it all comes together in the end because it is all connected. We've got Nina. She is a fighter pilot, or was a fighter pilot, for the Night Witches, for the Russians in World War II, which if it sounds badass, it's because it is. And then there's Ian Graham. He was a war correspondent for jolly old England during World War II, so he's seen a lot, suffered a lot. And then we've got little Jordan McBride, a little 17-year-old aspiring photographer who lives in Boston. Lobster. How about dim apples? Okay, we're just going to forget that I did that. So how are they all going to come together? Who is the singular person that's going to unite all 3 of these very different individuals? So Ian is spending his life and his life savings hunting down Nazi war criminals, which we can all get behind that, right? He's got his buddy Tony. That's my Queen's accent, not much better than my Boston. Please forgive me. So his buddy Tony, they're both in Europe going after these criminals, and they've come across a lead on one that is like the whale. If I had read Moby Dick, which I didn't, but you know what I'm talking about. So this lady called the Huntress, who is like pure evil, sounds like. She sounds pretty awful. And I don't know why she's called the Huntress, because she doesn't really seem to hunt people. Like, she's a little more the witch that lives in the gingerbread house and less Dog the bounty hunter. But anyway, that's what they call her. So we're going to go along with it. So he's got a hot lead on this. So they bring in Nina, who apparently encountered her during the war and is the only one to ever survive. And they go off to America, where, you guessed it, Boston, with your Gordon Wood. Okay, that was the last thing. That was it. I'm going to stop with the Boston now. So we're going to move on. As we journey to Boston, we're going to see that Nina and Ian know each other a little bit more than they were letting on initially. And I'm not talking about in the biblical sense, okay? Not at first. So get your mind out of the gutter. But speaking of the gutter, we are going to get a little bit of romance in this book. Not at steaminess levels of the Outlander or a Sarah J. Maas book, but enough to keep it interesting, if you know what I mean. So here we are in Boston, and now here's where little old Jordan McBride comes into play, because guess what? Her widowed father meets this mysterious woman who is a refugee from the war. Yeah, sounds extremely sus. But that's what Jordan thinks as well. So we all converge upon Boston, and the hunter becomes the hunted. And what's going to happen? I don't know. Actually, I do know because I read the book, but I'm not going to tell you. You should go read it too, because it was amazing. Loved it. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. I also really loved learning about the Night Witches, which was like a legit unit in the war. Amazing. Women are amazing. And that's all I have to say about that. So anyway, please do read and tell me what you think about it. And I'm ready to go get some more Kate Quinn books from the library because I don't want to say that she's redeemed herself because she never needed redeeming, but I am very pulled in again to that world of historical fiction. So that's all from me, and catch me on another Kate's Notes where we'll be reviewing another book that I judged. Okay, bye!